How's everybody doing today? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah. And so, right now, you guys, we're gonna talk about the Gennady Golovkin versus Andre Ward. These guys are trading. These guys are trading shots, man. I mean, these guys are definitely going back and forth. This is a fight that I wanted to see you guys for a long time. I'm not even gonna lie. Andre Ward versus Gennady Golovkin, and they've been on Twitter lately, and they've been actually going at it, man. Back and forth with the words. Shout out to the UGC Flame in the building, no doubt, man. Shout out to UGC, man. But yeah, man, these two guys are trading shots, man, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I really truly think that both of these guys, man, are really good for the sport, and I would love to see Andre Ward come back. But if he doesn't, I understand. He is still undefeated. Gennady Golovkin, as you guys all know, lost a really, really close decision to Canelo Alvarez. So both of these guys are, I wouldn't say that they're definitely not in their prime anymore, but both guys are, I think they're good for the sport. I think they will sell. I think that would definitely sell. And both guys are still relevant in the sport of boxing. But yeah, man. So the tweet says, this is how it says, you guys. This is from Andre Ward. Then Tom Loeffler, I believe, got into it as well. Wow, these guys are going back at it, man. But Chad, pretty much Andre Ward said that he was gonna fight. He wanted to, they said, what fights would you, like to have had that didn't get made. And one of them was, he said, Carl Froch rematch. And then he said that he wanted to fight Triple G, but he turned it down in less than 5 minutes. So that shows a lot. That shows a lot about Triple G and him not wanting to fight and stuff like that, man. I really truly feel like both of these guys, it would have been good for the sport. It would have definitely been good for the sport. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, man. UGC says, oh, Trap Media, what's going on, Trap Media in the building? He says, Ward does a lot of sideline talking. Okay. Shout out to Trap Media in the building. UGC in the chat says, Triple G gets more passes than a NFL wife. Oh, you said wide receiver. I was like, yo. But Chad, man, yeah. Man, Andre Ward's going at it. So this is what happened. This is word for word. This is how it went down, okay, you guys? I got the evidence right here. All right, I finally pulled it up. So it says, the guy says, at Andre Ward, he was like, happy birthday. He was like, happy birthday, champ, because it was Andre Ward's birthday the other day. I believe it was yesterday. So he says, question, is there a fight that you wanted that didn't happen before you retired? Okay? And Andre Ward replies, he would like a Froch rematch in the UK. Golovkin, he turned it down in less than 5 minutes. A Anthony Joshua fight, but I retired. Okay, smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, you guys. Let's please get these likes off the rip, man. Let's get them up, man. Let's get them up. But Chad, man, so, he's pretty much saying all those things, you guys. And, right now, I'm not going to lie, man. I really, truly think that, this is a fight that definitely could have been made. Gennady Golovkin then responds after Andre Ward says Golovkin, he turned it down in less than 5 minutes. Gennady Golovkin says, Andre, stop lying to the fans. Your team made the offer after I announced the fight with David Lemieux. And I remember when he fought David Lemieux, I actually had a fight party for that David Lemieux versus Triple G fight. That was an awesome fight party too, may I say. He says, your team made the offer after I announced the fight with David Lemieux and sold out the MSG. You are still angry since that. You never sold tickets like me. HBO knew you used the offer for publicity to move to 175. Happy birthday, Andre Ward. So Gennady Golovkin said happy birthday at the very end of all of that shit he just said. So yeah, man. Cooley in the chat says, ain't Triple G at 160? Yeah, but Andre Ward used to be at 160 as well. And I believe Andre Ward was at 168, and then he found up moving up to 175. So that's when he fought Kovalev and all of that at 175. And he beat Kovalev before Canelo Alvarez beat Kovalev. And he stopped Kovalev before Canelo Alvarez stopped Kovalev. So Andre Ward's definitely got some good feathers under his cap, some good wins. Andre Ward is a future Hall of Famer. Andre Ward is Corley Boxing's definitely one of the fighters of the decade. And I just feel like, he's a good fighter. I feel like Andre Ward is a really good fighter. Last decade, not this new decade coming up, but I just feel like, overall he was a good fighter. Andre Ward has since retired. Recently Andre Ward hasn't been in the ring. I believe his last fight was against Kovalev. So he hasn't been in the ring, you guys, in a couple of years. And I truly feel that can actually play a factor in this. Could Triple G be trying to wake Andre Ward up? Is this a fight that he wants now? Being that he's already got one loss on his record, but it's disputed loss. But it's still a loss. A loss is a loss. But yeah, man, I just really, truly feel that this fight could have got made. I remember when a lot of people were talking about this fight. But, Triple G fans back then, man, when Triple G was undefeated, they really liked Triple G. Triple G was a really, really good fighter. But so was Andre Ward. Andre Ward, an Olympic gold medal. I believe Triple G won a silver gold medal in the Olympics. And, both guys were highly touted. Highly, highly touted. And, Andre Ward, has done a lot in the Super 6. He beat, Ward beat Kessler, He beat the likes of Arthur Abraham. He beat the likes of Chad Dawson, and stuff like that. So, I just feel like, he did very well. His last fight was against Sergey Kovalev. That was in 2017? Wow, it's been 5 years since Andre Ward's fought. That's crazy. Wow. 5 years, you guys. 5 years since Andre Ward has last fought. Salute Ali Dago in the chat, man. Smash that like button, you guys. Let's get these likes up. But chat, man, it's been, wow, man. It's been 5 years since Andre Ward has last fought. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. Triple G hasn't fought a lot lately either. Triple G has not fought a lot lately either. So, both of these guys have really been, for the most part, inactive. Triple G right now still has that power. They say power is one of the last things to go in a fighter's career. But Triple G right now in his career, I think he's going for the money fights. That's why I think he's entertaining this Andre Ward, this whole Andre Ward situation. I feel like if he he never entertained this before. If you guys remember around the time, he was kind of hush-hush. I mean, they would say they would fight, Andre Ward. I don't even think they said each other's name back then. which was so crazy. You know, Andre Ward didn't talk a lot about Triple G, and Triple G didn't talk a lot about Andre Ward. It was one of those things like, you know, it was a fight that we wanted to see, but it was a fight that probably we couldn't make it happen. You know what I mean? As you guys know, Triple G was chasing that Canelo fight before, you know, because he never fought Canelo. He was looking for that very big fight. And he was just going to wait it out. You know, Triple G was just going to wait it out, in my opinion. And until he got that fight, and then Andre Ward retired, you know. And, you know, so it's one of those things. Both guys, man, you know, did a lot for the sport. But in actuality, man, you know, these guys are older now. They're older. I feel like they've been through a lot. Andre Ward, you know, has been in a couple, I wouldn't say a wars, but he's been in a couple. He's definitely got hit more, I feel like, in that Kovalev fight, that first fight, than he did in a lot of his fights combined. So, you know, I just thought he was, you know, he was starting to feel like, you know, I'm getting a little older. You know, and when fighters can feel they're getting older, it's best to retire, but a lot of fighters don't retire. But that's why I salute Andre Ward so much for retiring while he was still on top. Andre Ward retired undefeated, okay? Andre Ward retired undefeated, and he retired, okay, a champion, you know, which is all of that's rare for the sport of boxing. Normally, you know, boxing puts you out. You know, you pretty much, you know, just stunk the joint up so much, you know, we don't want to, fans, it's just like, dude, just retire. We know you don't have that money. Like, you know, you didn't make good investments, but it's time to retire, you know. Some people say James Toney should have retired, you know, should never fight again, you know. Later in Mike Tyson's career, some people say Mike Tyson didn't look as well later in his career. You know, and the list goes on. You know, the list goes on and on. As you guys all know, you got late bloomers like George Foreman, won a world title a lot later in his career, at heavyweight. And then you got guys like right now, like Nonito Donaire, you know, that's still beating young guys or, you know, competing with young guys. I mean, that Inoue fight was amazing, man. That Inoue fight was a banger. That was a Corey Lee's banger. So, I don't know, man. I just really think both of these guys should have fought. You know, is this a fight that I would still want to see right now? Hell yeah. Is this a fight that I would pay for on pay-per-view right now? Hell yeah. So all the boxes are still checked off. Andre Ward's still undefeated, so he'll always have money getting thrown at him, you know, in a sense. You know, there'll always be money on the table for Andre Ward. You know, all fans would always want to know, what if? Fans would always want to know Canelo versus Andre Ward, what if? If you guys don't know, I interviewed Andre Ward. You guys can go check my interview out. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. You know, here we go. See? Let's check out Andre Ward, the Corey Lee Andre Ward interview. Here we go. Back when I interviewed him at an interview.
You know what I'm saying? But that's low-hanging fruit. You better learn how to box. You better learn how to use your jab. You better learn how to hit and not get hit. We talked about that during the telecast when we did the Sweet Pea, that Whitaker piece. That's how I was taught to fight. Straight up. And I'm not going to dumb down my style so anybody can catch up. You know, because when you see stuff like what happened to Dadashev, man, people don't get it. That stuff can happen in a sparring session. That stuff can happen on any given night. And you don't have to get knocked out brutally. It could be just one shot that hits you in the wrong spot, and you could be in a situation like that. So I'm praying for Dadashev.
Speaking of Pernell Whitaker, what are your memories of
Man, listen, he's one of the first ones that, you know, my godfather Virgil and my dad pointed to him was like, be like him. Wow. Like that's, and I didn't just watch this stuff. stuff that Pernell did in the ring, I watched how he dealt with the big moments. When you see him walk to the ring against Chavez, just the swag and the confidence. Yeah. When you see that as a young fighter, that gives you the courage and the license to have swag and confidence when your big moment comes. So all the stuff about him not being appreciated and all that stuff, it's unfortunate, but we, analysts, writers, y'all got to do a better job of letting casual fans know, because that's who the fight is really over. Hardcore fans, they understand certain things. They know who they like, who they don't like.
So yeah, you guys, he just talked a little bit about the sport, and I just think Andre Ward is a really good fighter, and we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Triple G versus Andre Ward. Do you guys want to see this fight? Is Andre Ward past his prime? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. This is Corley Boxing, and you've definitely been hit with another banger. Peace out, you guys. Thanks for watching, man.